come into this space and time. Bring all that you are and all that you are holding today, each bit of heaviness, each sparkle of joy, each tear waiting for its moment, each blah searching for inspiration, each giggle waiting for a reason to break through. Each wiggle, each sigh, each hand looking for a hand to hold, each heart looking for a place to rest. Bring it all in with you. Every part of you is welcome. We come together in the middle of the too much and even the everything. We come to one another looking for and offering one another comfort, steadiness, laughter, beauty. We come together and meet one another in our humanity, and we know that this is a gift. Come, let us worship together. I'm the Reverend Rachael Hayes, minister of this congregation. I use she, her pronouns. I am so glad that you are here today. And Ember, will you join me? I invite you to say our congregation's chalice lighting words with me. Yeah, I moved them on you. We light this flame to invite a world of peace, where we heal the wounds, where we share what we have with one another, where justice is another word for relationship, and we listen for what love has to say. I invite you to rise in body and spirit to sing our opening hymn, Open the Window, which is on the screen, and number 1022 if you have a teal hymnal. But I think we also maybe forgot to get hymnals out. So it's on the screen. There we go. And it's a call and response song.
So you can hear me. I invite you. Hello. I invite you to join me in reciting our congregation's covenant. It's up there. Love is the spirit of this community. We dwell together in peace. We seek truth and justice in love. We honor everyone's worth. And we true in our world.
Okay, so we're about to have our time for all ages, and for a lot of us, this has been a hard week, and we are about to do something that is very silly together. Even, or maybe especially when things are hard, it is important for us to play together, to experience creativity and joy and laughter, because they help us know one another and know our own hearts. We have time in the service later to talk about some hard things, but for now, I invite you to join me and Bo in the spirit of play. This is Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, with words and pictures by Mo Willems. Yes. And if any of the kids want to come forward to be closer to the action, there will be images on the screen for everybody, but if you like to come up front, come up front. But leave me a little place to clown, because this is going to get real silly. Okay, so everybody, if you don't know this, this book invites you to say no. Can you practice that with me? No. Awesome. So when the pigeon tries to convince you, you can say no loud and clear.
Hi. My name's Bo. I use his, him pronouns. I'm the bus driver. Now listen, I've got to leave for a little while, so can you please watch things for me until I get back? Yes. Thanks. Oh, and remember, don't let the pigeon drive the bus.
I thought he'd never leave. Hey, can I drive the bus? No. Oh. Please? No. I'll be careful. No. I tell you what, I'll just steer. My cousin Herb drives a bus almost every day. A true story? Vroom, 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 pigeon at the wheel! No? No. I never get to do anything. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's play drive the bus. No. I'll go first. No. Come on, just once around the block. No. I'll be your best friend. How about I give you $5? No fair. I bet your mom would let me. What's the big deal? It's just a bus. I have dreams, you know. Fine. Let me drive the bus!
You didn't let the pigeon drive the bus while I was gone, did you?
No.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Oh. Hey. Okay, so thank you all for playing with me. I love this book. Okay, so today in RE, we are going to have preschool, elementary, junior youth group classes as usual, and I want to let you all know that we have 30 kids enrolled in our RE program right now. It is big and exciting, and we're going to be hitting you up for volunteers, especially those of you who are not parents, because parents need to not always be the volunteers in RE. So you can talk to me if you want to get involved. Preschool continues. So next week, things are about to get real exciting because preschool continues. Early elementary will begin a special program called Drawing Difference. 4th through 6th grades will begin our Whole Lives comprehensive sex ed. And 7th and 8th grades will be focusing on their coming of age program. It's a lot. It's exciting. And that means that after today, we won't see our upper elementary and middle schoolers in the sanctuary with us for about 2 months. Because they're starting in their classrooms for the next 2 months. I can't. So we will miss you up here. We love you so much. And we know you're doing important things downstairs. So we'll try and catch you at social hour. As Laurel and the RE volunteers lead our religious education students downstairs, I invite you to rise and sing hymn number 6. Oh, you can put it back on the table. Just as long as I have breath. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask me if I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must from The Open Society and Its Enemies by Karl Popper. Less well known than other paradoxes is the paradox of tolerance. Unlimited tolerance must lead to the disappearance of tolerance. If we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, if we are not prepared to defend a tolerant society against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed and tolerance with them. In this formulation, I do not imply, for instance, that we should always suppress the utterance of intolerant philosophies as long as we can counter them by rational argument and keep them in check by public opinion. Suppression would certainly be most unwise. But we should claim the right to suppress them if necessary, even by force, for it may easily turn out that they are not prepared to meet us on the level of rational argument, but begin by denouncing all argument. They may forbid their followers to listen to rational argument because it is deceptive, and teach them to answer arguments by the use of their fists or pistols. We should therefore claim in the name of tolerance the right not to tolerate the intolerant. In 1930, Karl Popper needed to write a book. It was, for him, literally publish or perish. From where he was sitting as a person of Jewish ancestry in Austria, he needed to get a job in a country where Nazis were not taking over. In order to get an academic posting, he needed a book. So while he taught high school math and physics during the day, he spent his evenings working on the manuscript that would eventually be published as The Logic of Scientific Discovery in 1934. British philosopher A.C. Ewing invited Popper to visit Cambridge in 1935 and 36, and in 1937, Popper received an offer to lecture at the University of New Zealand, where he stayed throughout the Second World War. It was in New Zealand that he wrote The Open Society and Its Enemies, from which I read his description of the paradox of tolerance. The Open Society was published in 1945. It examines Western philosophy through the lens of Plato in the first volume and Marx in the second, and it is only in the endnotes that we find Popper's thoughts on the paradoxes of freedom, tolerance, and democracy. The paradox of tolerance. If we tolerate intolerance, we will no longer have a tolerant society. If the intolerant are able to dictate the terms of a conversation, we lose space for multiple viewpoints, for pluralism, for discourse, for freedom. Tolerating difference creates space for freedom. And Popper says that we have to claim the right to shut down intolerance when it destroys tolerance. We don't have to always do it. Sometimes the expression of intolerant ideas is unpleasant, but not actually dangerous. But we must never let go of the right to do so. I would add that sometimes it's hard to know where that line is between unpleasant and dangerous, especially in one-on-one interactions. So I would encourage you to think big. What does that intolerant idea do to the society? Not just what does it do to you individually. It's easier to build for tolerance and diversity when we're thinking of the whole group. I might think that doesn't hurt me, but it hurts my friend, my neighbor, my colleague, my dentist, my person on the street whose name I don't know, but I know their face, my chattiest cashier at the grocery store. It is up to all of us to protect the society for all of us. All of those people we know and don't know, with whom we agree and disagree. And there's a lot to disagree about right now. Whether you're actively disagreeing in conversation with people, it's very clear as a country that we do not all agree about everything. I've heard a lot of concern about what might happen in the next presidential administration. Don't worry, I'm not going to try and talk you out of your fears. I'm going to do what I usually do, which is to invite you to take a breath with me. With a soundtrack. Let's do it again. And then, like usual, I'm going to give you homework. In 2017, when as a country we were in a place that felt both similar and different, Timothy Snyder published a pocket-sized breath of realism. The book is called On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. Each of the lessons is a short chapter with a rule for resisting tyranny and stories from 20th century European history and the rise and fall of dictatorships. I'm not going to read you the whole book. You can read it for yourself in an evening, but I want to highlight 2 chapters that feel especially important right now as we prepare for the incoming administration, which has promised to erode the foundations of tolerance in our society. Lesson 1, do not obey in advance. And I'm going to continue a little bit with Snyder's words. Most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do. And then my words, do not comply preemptively to make yourself less of a target. Do not choose your course of action based on what could be the worst case scenario. When people do this, we make it easier for tyrants and would-be dictators to strip away our rights, to splinter the collective into small groups that are easily attacked. Do not obey in advance. And lesson 8, stand out. I'm continuing Snyder's words. Someone has to. It is easy to follow along, but it can feel strange to do or say something different. But without that unease, there is no freedom. Remember Rosa Parks. The moment you set an example, the spell of the status quo is broken, and others will follow. It is easy. It is being different that creates space for difference. Sometimes I think our congregation could argue a giant back up a beanstalk. We've got a lot to say to one another, to our own consciences, and to the world around us. So let's stand out. What do we want to stand out for? After the election, anticipating the increased threat to trans people, reproductive health care, and personal autonomy, our congregation displayed one of our new classic wayside pulpit signs. It reads, "Trans people are divine, abortion is a blessing, all bodies are sacred." If you also love this message, I'll let you know where you can get the t-shirt. About a month into having this sign up, I received an email from one of our members who knows that I'm telling this story today. One of their acquaintances, knowing that they belong to our congregation, expressed discomfort with the wording and worried that such a sign might attract violence to our meeting house. I told them that I'm happy to talk with their acquaintance, but we didn't change the sign until it was time to change the sign anyway. We had already decided to stand out and not to comply with those whose values run counter to our own. And it felt more important for us to express our values in that moment than for us to comply with unknown hypothetical threats. Our covenant reminds us that love is the spirit of this community. That when we're living into the deepest promise of our congregation, love is what we do, who we are, and our guiding light. When faced with intolerance, when faced with authoritarianism, when in doubt, what does love tell us to do? Sometimes love leads us to say yes to more than we dreamed possible. And sometimes it leads us to say no out of deep love for our neighbors and for all that we dream our world can be. And then we come back to the pigeon. We have examined this text before in our congregation, like other sacred texts such as the Gospel of Luke or the Heart Sutra or your favorite novel. It bears the weight of repeated study. We bring ourselves to it and find wisdom in its reflection. The same old text, but it finds us changed and has new things to offer. In the past, I've found resonance in the bus driver who has to trust others to do the right thing, and the pigeon who wants something really badly. But right now I find myself in the book's audience who must say no. In light of not obeying in advance, of standing out, of resisting tyranny whenever love calls us to do so, it feels really important to keep no in our vocabulary these days. Many of us find that our yes comes much more easily than our no, that we have decades of training in being agreeable and going along to get along. But each yes is the flip side of a no. Sometimes we say no to oppression to say yes to life. Say no to falsehood so we can say yes to truth. Say no to injustice to say yes to love. We practiced our no with the pigeon, but I'd also invite you to try on these responses. That's not okay. I don't know that that's true. Help me understand. We have an incoming president who is a notorious liar, a manipulator in a crowd of manipulators. We have laws all over this country that are keeping our people from accessing health care, that are persecuting people for being themselves. We have billionaires getting richer while the rest of us find it harder and harder to survive. It's okay to be alarmed. I'm alarmed too. This is why we say no, interrupt, and find our way to dissent. Because allowing intolerance to flourish is the end of tolerance. Because we won't obey in advance. Because we are willing to stand out. Because we are led by love. May it be so.
Three horses gazing out my window, brown, black, and white they stand, rolling past pastures they can wander, free and easy is their land. Don't ever take away our freedom. end to poverty, injustice, and war. Now I've learned that job will take a long, long time. So there's one thing that must endure. Don't ever take away our freedom. Don't ever take it away. We must cherish and keep that one part of our lives. And the rest we're gonna find one of these days. One of these days. When I am old and thinking over the whole life that I've led, if there's one final wish left to me, I pray that the children who are yet to be born, I will pray that they always will live free. Don't ever take away our freedom. Don't ever take it away. We must cherish and keep that one part of our lives. And the rest we're gonna find one of these days. One of these days. There is a time for the singing and the sunshine. There is a time for the thunder and the rain. There is a time for the changing of the seasons, my friend. But there's one thing that we must never change. Don't ever take away our freedom. Don't take it away. Don't ever take it away. We must cherish and keep this part of our lives. And the rest we're gonna find one of these days. One of these days.
I invite you to join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We are about to sing our closing song. You are welcome to stay right where you are, to be held in the love of our congregation, or you are welcome to rise and move into a circle along the outer aisle, place your hands over your heart, or reach out your hands to the person next to you as we sing our closing song. I send you forth with words from Mo Willems. Don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Go in peace.